Okay, Isaiah 40. Now we start the later part of Isaiah. So I thought, doing chapters 1 to 39 was hard and boring, but it was not. It was like wonderful. I said, wait till I get to 40 to 66. It's all about the Messiah. It'll be easier. We know so much about it. It's been quoted time and again in by Christ, by the apostles in the New Testament. Wrong. Was I ever wrong? Chapter 40, where it says, comfort ye my people. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem and cry unto her that her iniquity is pardoned, for she has received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins. As I make way a path in the desert for the Lord. It's like, wow, he is coming. Jesus is coming. And this, chapter 40 is very long and very, as usual, as with all the chapters of Isaiah, is so dense. We think we know Isaiah. We only, like David Paulson says, it's like reading Isaiah is like reading, for us, a chocolate box with different kind of centers. We pick and choose the centers. This is Isaiah that we do. Like, yeah, I know Isaiah. Comfort ye, my people. Make straight the path of the Lord in the desert, and all this good stuff. Don't we know it? Yeah. But really, no. Even the word comfort, we do not understand. So here am I. But it's so wonderful to dig deep and unpack it. Understand that the important thing to remember about Isaiah is he had a long career, 60 years. He lived through many kings, 5 of them at least, good ones, bad ones. So with each king, there was crisis, because of the activity of the king. See, we do not realize it, when you have a ruler. If it's a righteous ruler, things will go okay. If it's not, then you have to deal with that. So we've just gone through the threat of Sennacherib, King Hezekiah. So now we're going to a different part of Isaiah. So that was the chapters 1 to 39 is the Assyrian threat. 40 to 66 is the Babylonian threat. Understand that this Babylonian threat, this exile would not happen until 150 years after the death of Isaiah. He did not live through it. So many people suspect, he didn't write, he didn't know anything, but he did. See, who would God choose? The Jews were in exile. They were undergoing tremendous, it was an existential crisis of biblical proportions. Let's put it this way. The anxiety, how are we going to do this? Are we going back? This is it. So God in his wisdom chose Isaiah to address the Jews in this situation 150 years later. It's like, wow. I mean, who would you choose for such a task, right? So it would not be inconceivable that Isaiah was given visions of a time to come, and God would give him the answer to the situation. How do you deal with it as the remnant? So this is how. So according to Paulson, he said comfort. We say, comfort, everything's going to be okay, rockabye baby. No, the operative word is fortify, fortis. Fort means strengthen. Strengthen ye, my people. Strengthen, stay strong, strengthen. So this is to give them strength to undergo that exile. That's what it is. So once you realize this the meaning of comfort, then your mindset change, especially when, and then it says, he hasn't forgotten you. So prepare for his coming. He's going to come. Prepare for it. In those days, when you prepare for the coming of a king, you would make a straight white path for him, so the king would come in his pomp and majesty, parading down. That's the idea. See, we do not understand it. When we read, make straight the desert a highway for our God. That's what it is. God is come. He hasn't forgotten you. He's coming. So you need to prepare the road for the king. You have a straight, wide road. Every valley must be filled, and every hill cut cut down so that the king will cut. See, that's what it is. So next thing it says in verse 6, all flesh is grass, godliness thereof, flower of it. So why suddenly this contrast? See, understand that they were going through exile in Babylon, and you think of all those powerful people, the Babylonians. He said, don't worry about them. All flesh, however powerful, magnificent they are, it's like grass, and their glory like flowers of the grass. What happens? The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, because the Spirit of the Lord bloweth upon them. So surely the people is grass. The grass that wherein the flower fadeth, but the word of God stands forever. I know you're afraid. I know, but I haven't forgotten you. Look at all these people. It's just like when Moses and the Israelites were facing the Red Sea in front of them, the Egyptian army in the back of them. What did the Lord say? Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. The Egyptians you see today, you will not see again. This is a similar case. So he goes on to speak of creation. Creation? A time like this, yeah, I know about creation. Who is this God that we believe? With verse 12, he who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, meted out heaven with a span, and comprehended the dust of the earth in a measure. This is the same God. It's like that we believe in. And compared to that, the powerful men, and they're like grass. They will wither and be blown away. So this contrast. So when we're going through some crisis, some existential crisis, like we have today, the election crisis that we go through, every night I go to bed sad because the news is always so bad. Especially one night, I remember it was exceedingly hard for me that night, and I got on my knees. I said, we tried so hard. We failed to upstage all these evil spirits, these evil people. Then I said to the Lord, I said, you tried too. I don't blame you. You couldn't do anything. Even you have no power against these evil forces. I said, oops, did I just say that? It felt like that. I have to be really, I am really honest. It felt like that, Lord, even you cannot do anything. You are powerless to overturn this evil in this world. So after reading 40, my mind changed. It should. Yeah. Look, who is this God that you're serving? Once you see the might and magnificence and greatness, then you know what is flesh but grass that withers away and the flower fadeth. David Parsons was in Israel for a few years. They would plant some flowers outside the water 3 times a day because it's so dry, and it flourished. It's like, wow, nice. Then a windstorm came, and before you know it, the flowers all dried up. That is flesh. So contrast that with our God. Verse 18. To whom then will you liken God? Right. So our problems are big. It is huge. It's nothing because we're facing. I know the spirits the dark spirits in the heavenly realm, and people. Today you'll see them. They're like grass, flowering. Yay, wildflowers. I love them. But before long, 2 weeks is the most. They're gone. So I have another commentary on this. Is Alec Mortier. It's really dense. So in the time frame I have, which is very little, is kind of hard. So verse 40, I'm going to hurry. The questions expose the frailty of faith and also the absurdity of faithlessness, the frailty of faith. Our faith is weak. We are on our knees trembling, with trembling hands, wobbly knees, our hearts for fear. That's our faith. Okay? albeit the best faith, looking at the wonderful God who created everything still. But, they compare that with the absurdity of faithlessness. It's even worse. So here it says, consider then the absurdity of losing faith. Well, me? Yeah. And the one who, in relation to earth, is all powerful, all wise, dominant, with no God to challenge, check, or rival him, King of kings, sovereignly in charge of his world, down to the smallest detail, so that everything is in its place, nothing overlooked, nothing lost. So I am deeply, deeply encouraged by Isaiah 40. And we read in verse 27, who mayest thou, Jacob, and speaketh of Israel? My way is hid from the Lord. Those who would be faithless, thinking, the people of Israel, thinking, he cannot see me. No. That the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary. There is no searching of his understanding. He giveth power to the faint. And they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings like eagles, and they shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. I am finally encouraged after reading Isaiah chapter 40, where it says, comfort ye, my people. Speak gently, that your iniquity has been pardoned. You have received from the Lord double. So what is it? What does that mean? It means that in Israel Jewish law, you have it's double means folded. You have a crime and satisfaction of the crime that God paid. He paid for your iniquity. Therefore, lift up, look up, look at the creation, look at this God. Lift up and not be afraid. Say to the cities of Judah, behold your God. See. And he shall come like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs in his arms. So this God is more powerful and mighty, is gentle and loving, like a good shepherd carrying the lambs in his arms and carry them in his bosom and gently lead those that are young. I hope you are encouraged too, because I certainly am.